Hey everybody. So you might remember a while back I introduced a fan to all of you. It was the Signal mixer fan. I believe the model number on this is 1639. Anyway, what we're going to do in this video is put it all back together because we have blown it completely apart. So the area where we're going to start in is the motor. So what we'll start off with here is the heart of the motor, the stator. This is a 6-pole shaded pole stator. We've already got the head wire soldered onto it, as you can see here. And what we're going to do is put it into the motor here. You can see that there is a groove on the bottom of the stator there in the laminations for it to slip into the, that goes at the bottom to slip past that fastener that you see there. Now this little area at the back of the motor is where the rear bearing assembly goes, and we're going to show that to you next. This is the rear bearing in order of assembly. The felt goes into that metal piece, the bearing goes inside there, and the bearing keeper goes on top of that. Here's a side view of it as well. And this is for the rear bearing assembly. The front bearing assembly has a provision for an oil port. So we've now got the stator put into place, but guess what we did? We forgot to install the rear bearing, so we had to pull it back out and put the rear bearing in. And now we've resolved our error, and we got the stator in place and the bearing in place, and we've got the wiring pulled through here by the oscillator mechanism. The rotor's in place now as well. And we've got the front cover installed too. So the motor is pretty much complete. So we can't really test out the motor without having it wired up in the base. So we're going to go ahead and get that done here. We'll run some ohm tests on the speed coil and the stator. Here we are ohming out the speed coil on medium speed. It's 1.7 ohms. And it gives us 2.4 ohms on low speed. And our stator gives us 9.1 ohms. So everything looks good. And now we have the wiring all completed up. And test fire. Yay, it works. Even has a good spin down time. Now we'll do a test with the blades. This is high speed. Blades came up really nice after we really polished them up. Here's medium. Not a lot of speed difference. And low. Oops, I bumped the tripod. And we've got the fan off. This thing has a very impressive long spin down time on it. So the bearings all got aligned up properly on this thing. So now for our next order of business, we need to go into the oscillating mechanism to start getting that all put together. So in we go. So the oscillator gears have stayed in place because they have the nuts that hold these in all pinged so that you cannot unfasten them. What you're looking at now is the engagement mechanism dogs that engage and disengage the oscillator. So here we have it partly assembled with the worm gear in the gearbox. You can see it all kind of fully assembled now with the button mechanism attached to it. When you pull the button out, that releases the mechanism and makes the fan stationary. And when you push it in, it makes the fan oscillate. Here's a shot of it here without grease and without the mechanism covering it up. This is very unique to this specific model of fan. What we're going to do now is a live action shot of how this engages and disengages so you can see it. And we've got it engaged and the fan starts oscillating. You can see the gears all going along there, all lubed up with their Lucas red and tacky grease. Now we've disengaged the mechanism. It would be like pulling the button out. And you can see it freewheeling here as the fan coasts down.
Just like a Gundam style.
It's real interesting the way this mechanism works. It's unlike any other fan that I've seen. Now we originally thought that it engaged and disengaged this way, but this is actually wrong because the fang actually goes further forward. Now this fang here is worn out. It's this piece that you see right here. And what it's meant to do is actually engage into the worm gear itself. And you can see the groove here where it does engage in. And what you're looking at now is the ball detent system for the oscillator engage disengage button, which you see here. And it goes into place in this hole. So what we're going to do now is give you a demonstration of this fan, and we'll show it going into oscillation mode, but we have to do this while the fan is off because of that worn fang mechanism that I showed you earlier. Fan makes kind of a horrible gear grinding noise otherwise. So we got the oscillator engaged. We'll put the fan on. You can see that this thing runs beautifully and smoothly. You'll see a lot more of this in the upcoming demonstration video that we have in the works. So with that, I'd like to thank you for watching and hope that you enjoyed seeing this big old signal mixer fan go back together. We will have more to come on this as well as other projects, so please hit that subscribe button to stay tuned. Later.